Your sensory cortex within the parietal lobe of your brain is how you interpret all incoming afferent ascending information from your world. So if we look at our brain model here, in the front we have the frontal lobe. On the sides we have the parietal lobe. Down here we have the temporal lobe, and then in the back we have the occipital lobe. So within this parietal lobe we have what's called the sensory cortex. Now the sensory cortex is where all incoming afferent information goes to then be interpreted to make sense of what's happening to our body within our world, within our space or an environment. So the incoming information is perceived by sensory receptors. Now the information then travels up the spinal cord, which is protected by the spinal column. Now for information that is stimulated of the spinal thalamic tract, it's going to cross over in the cord and then ascend to the contralateral sensory cortex. For incoming sensory information that is within the dorsal columns, then that's going to ascend up the spinal cord, cross over in the brainstem, and then ascend to the contralateral sensory cortex. Now what that means is if I have incoming afferent information to my right hand, that information is then perceived in my left sensory cortex. Now what happens is that if we have a decline in sensory cortex function, or if we are experiencing nociceptive pain outputs, what we want to do is override that nociception with stimulation to the sensory system. So some of the great postural ergonomic recommendations that you can make to your clients so they can have sensory stimulus, which is therapeutic to them throughout their workday, is the first is going to be posture tape. So if you put posture tape on your client and then they leave their office, they leave your office and they go into their office, now they have sensory stimulation that's working around the clock, which is a passive stimulation that's going to be therapeutic to the sensory system. In addition to that, vibration is going to be highly therapeutic as well. So just having one of these handheld vibration units, then they can place that on the side that we want to stimulate. So if I'm stimulating my left shoulder, recognize that that's a stimulation to the right sensory cortex. So they can easily keep this in their desk and then they can utilize it throughout the day for their therapeutic needs. In addition to that, a massage ball. So again, this is something that they can just place within their desk and they can perform light tissue or deep tissue massage. Now this is going to again be stimulatory. So if I stimulate the left shoulder, that's going to stimulate my right sensory cortex. So these are three simple solutions that your clients can utilize at work to stimulate their sensory system. So again, we have posture tape, which is going to be passive. You put it on and then they leave and then they're wearing this around the clock. Or they can keep these in their desk, vibration sense, as well as a massage ball, which is going to be stimulatory. So again, if I stimulate the left side of my body, it's going to stimulate my right sensory cortex. To overcome that nociceptive response, we want our patients and our clients actively engaging in sensory stimulation throughout their workday.